Okay, y'all, we back. Hold on, let me tell. Okay, they on. Okay, now I gotta play my intro music. Even though the other, like Twitch, shut the hell up. This a mixtape song. Y'all don't own nothing. If Guwap cool with it, then we cool with it. Let's go. Don't worry about none of that Twitch. Let's go.
Holiday season,
Hey. Okay, that's enough. Y'all don't even need the full intro, cause we already been here. But let's see. Okay, I'm about to start a new one. Let me go to the video that I kept trying to play. Okay. You can join it now. I think it'll work. You went to it? I said you can join it now. Oh, they.
What you
doing?
this you good? Take
I don't want you. I'm just going back up.
take
It out and go back in. I think
hey, take my
this one fine.
what you
Doing?
this you good? Take
I don't want
take hey, here, just take it.
bro, get that.
What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Roses, and it's Valentine's. Make sure y'all
What's
like,
wrong with
comment,
this
subscribe to
voice?
the channel. Hit that subscribe button. Excuse me. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Hey, take my motherfucking rose.
Take your what?
Take my motherfucking rose.
Who the
Sir.
fuck are you talking to?
I'm talking to you. Take,
No, I'm not
bro.
taking
Take
shit.
this shit, bro.
Don't touch me.
Take my rose.
You take your rose.
What you touching me for?
Why are you touching me?
Hey, I said take my rose, bro.
Now you
I definitely get the social experiment though. He's doing something sweet by mixing it with something aggressive. So that it is mind boggling for certain people. Certain people they is gonna hear you being aggressive, so they ain't worried about no roles. I see what he doing. This dude crazy.
Damn, she mean. You don't want this rose, bro? You don't got no Valentine's?
How much she mean? What?
Bro, take my rose.
fuck your rose.
Huh?
Fuck, get the fuck away from
Bro, take my motherfucking rose, bro.
me. Get the fuck away from me. Fuck.
Oh yeah, she look like tight. She about to pepper spray, huh?
Man, you cussing at me? All that. Hey, bro. Take this shit. Look, it's a video. We filming you. Look, come here. I apologize. I'm never rude. I apologize for that. You feel me?
It's
I was,
cool.
yeah, it was a video the whole time.
It's cool.
Yeah, did I
My
make?
bad.
Yeah, nah, you good. You know, but it's
Sorry
okay.
about
I
your
got
rose.
some more roses, so it's okay. But
Poor little
I feel
rose.
so bad.
It's okay.
You have
it's
a
good.
great day, okay?
You too.
Yeah, I see this girl walking. I'm gonna be extra aggressive with this girl. Yeah.
Uh-oh.
The fuck, nigga?
What you,
He found the
what you mean
right
what I'm doing? I'm
one.
giving you this rose.
But you can't just be coming up on me like that.
No Valentine, none. Take my motherfucking rose,
No,
bro.
she's.
I take the rose.
Oh, she about started blushing. She was like, I ain't
Like
got
what?
one.
But you don't like aggressive? See, I'm aggressive. I don't know about all the other stuff. I can't hear you, baby. What you said?
Eat the child that is.
Man, like you bad as fuck.
Thank you.
What's your name?
Kiana.
Kiana, I'm Malik. Now you gonna take this rose.
Come on, move. You need a microphone.
Like
It.
with her,
What's a proper
like
hug?
with both hands, like yeah, like that.
Alright.
Alright, be safe.
Thank
Hold on,
you.
put my number in your phone too.
Alright.
Yeah. Where you from?
St. Louis.
Yeah, she deal with too much.
You ain't never
Cause he ain't even say it's a prank yet.
Before?
No, not all that.
Nah.
Aggressive, but that was just too aggressive.
That
You
too
just
aggressive?
came and grabbed my hand, yeah.
Yeah. What's your name again?
Kiana.
Kiana. I'm Malik.
Alright. Bet.
Be safe,
You
alright?
too. Thank you.
Yeah, you fine as fuck. I ain't gonna lie.
Thank you.
Let me see your hand real quick. I can.
No, why?
What you mean?
Why? Why you need my hand?
Hey, take my rose, bro.
Why do you need my hand?
Bro, take my motherfucking rose. I told you, take that shit, bro. What you kicking my roses for? You don't want no rose?
I ain't trying to do your roses like that, but get back. I don't want your roses.
You aggressive, but I don't bite.
You a little aggressive.
I'm a little aggressive? I don't bite or nothing, though.
I'm okay. I don't want your roses.
You don't want your roses?
No.
For real?
Yeah.
No. You still got a dude?
Yes.
You do?
Yes.
Hey, look, I ain't gonna lie.
I didn't try.
He recording you the whole time, so we was fucking with you. But you think I could get your number, though?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hold up, my bad, y'all. I'm about to stop and restart. Okay, we back. We looking a little better now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure.
You playing.
I'm dead serious. Like, it was a video, but you pressing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you serious or I'm still on the thing? Let me see.
Bro, I want your bro.
Let me see.
What you doing?
You playing.
I'm dead. I'm dead serious.
Okay.
Let me put my number.
No, let me see your phone. Let me put my number in your phone.
You want to put my number in my phone? Alright, bet. But your day was good though?
Yeah.
That's sad.
Yeah, you cute, I ain't gonna lie.
Thank you.
Yeah, I got an extra phone.
I feel like I know you still recording, but
I record everything.
Where you from?
I'm from down here. Why you kick my flowers though,
I
bro?
ain't trying to do that to your flowers. I'm so sorry.
I was a little mean?
Yeah.
I'll play this rest of this video for y'all, but I ain't gonna lie, this video ain't my taste. It's a little boring. I ain't gonna say it's boring, it probably just ain't my taste.
Hey, take my rose. Take that shit.
I don't know you, so I don't even know why you play with me like that.
Take my shit, bro.
You can take your shit and get the fuck on. Like, who you playing with?
Oh,
What you slapping me
Bro,
for?
that's dry disrespectful as fuck. Play with your hoes.
I'm saying you don't want my rose?
No.
I was trying to give you a rose, bro.
It's okay, I don't want it, Bookie.
You don't want it?
No.
Hey.
she
take
said,
my
keep
shit,
your
bro.
rose, Bookie. Bookie butt.
Hey, look, hey, we filming you.
No matter. Right.
I'm saying it's Valentine's Day. I trying to hand out some roses. You feel me?
I don't want it.
You don't want it? Look, I apologize. Yeah, I'm sorry. I apologize. I'll film you. You feel me? Look, I apologize for that. See a couple. Y'all know I get with couples.
This
but
one ain't it.
I'm finna give his girl this.
It's probably for
rose,
the younger crowd, though.
Yo, Scoob, how you doing? I love
Are you
your
bugging
hair.
now, huh? Let me. We'll watch this part though.
Take it.
Nah, bro. What you doing taking that? Don't take
He
that,
should have
bro.
did that the whole video. That would have made it more entertaining.
Ain't no nice.
Shit, take it. He tripping, huh?
What you mean?
There ain't nothing entertaining
bro.
about you just
Bro, what you
disrespecting
doing,
girls
bro?
and
Hey, don't do that shit, bro.
Bro.
I'm giving
Hype
her
up on
rose,
him.
bro.
What you
Hype
mean,
up.
bro?
I'm giving her a rose, bro. You good?
Hold up. What you
I'm giving
mean?
her a rose, bro.
Nah, bro.
You good?
Nah.
I'm giving her a rose.
Bro, go on with that, bro, cause I don't want to put that pressure on you, bro.
do
I want
it.
a
Don't
rose,
talk.
bro.
Do
Bro,
it.
it's all good, bro. Go on with that shit, bro.
Don't touch me, bro. You straight,
Bro,
bro.
go. This nigga tripping, bro. Hey,
She's smiling. Do some more, bro.
shit, bro. You just shouldn't go, bro.
She can't have this
Shit.
rose, bro.
Nah, bro. Listen. What you mean, thank you?
Why she looking at the mooch dude like
bro,
that?
She was just thank you. You trying
Oh
to
hell,
go with him?
this better be a skit. This
Nah, bro. You trying to go with
Yeah,
him?
I'm trying to. Here, just
Nah,
take
bro,
it.
Nah, bro, get that shit.
nah, this better be a either she very friendly, quote unquote. This a skit, cause ain't no way, and I don't think this a skit, though, cause she was
Nah,
looking
bro.
at.
What you mean, thank you? Nah, bro. What you mean, thank you? You trying to go with him? Then?
Okay, but he was just trying to be nice.
Nah, bro. You trying to go
That's
with him?
weird.
I'm trying to. Here, just
Nah,
take
bro,
it.
Nah, bro, get that shit. Nah, bro. Fuck that shit, bro.
You didn't give me
Go,
no
bro.
motherfucking flowers.
I'm saying.
You didn't
What?
give me no flowers.
What you mean I give you no flowers?
You didn't give me no flowers, so at least he trying to do something.
I'm
for
trying.
somebody.
Exactly.
Bro, fuck
The
them
police
flowers.
said I'm leaving. They was right.
Yeah, bro, you got it. You feel me, bro?
Hold up, bro,
You
bro,
don't never
chill out, bro,
compliment
cause
me.
you're not even in this. Now you got me fucked up on Valentine's, bro. Nah,
Hey,
bro, you fucked
we
up.
be
You wanna be with
recording
him?
you.
You wanna be with him?
Hey, we
You ain't
recording
did
you.
wanna
shit
be
in
with
6
him?
months we been together.
We recording y'all.
I got this shit. No, matter of fact, take that shit and go with him. Matter of fact, you can have that. Fucking have it, bro.
What's your name? Kayla. How long you been with him?
For like 6 months.
He don't treat you right?
No, he ain't shit.
I was trying to give you a rose.
He probably,
still
this probably
talking?
really ain't no skit.
We was filming y'all. Yeah, it was a vid.
Yeah, now she feels stupid. Why y'all playing with
I
her?
get your number.
Shit. Hell yeah. Oh, nigga, you forgot your phone too. Should I throw this shit in?
You tripping, huh?
Yeah, it ain't no skit. He was actually mad.
Yeah.
He was so mad he walked off with his phone. I mean, without the
What's your
phone.
name?
Malik.
Malik, nice to meet you. Thank you for the flowers.
Yeah. Yeah, you good, bro. Yeah. Good.
He mad.
Like,
What y'all thought he was about to be? Happy?
Don't let your boyfriend stop you from finding your husband.
You feel me?
I just stood over there
What's your
telling
name
you
again?
about your husband.
I'm Malik.
okay, nice to meet you.
What's up? Be safe.
You too. Have a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know about. I don't know about that video. I usually seen Young Mooch. He usually got some better videos. I don't know about that one. Let's see. Alright, since it's a little late, let's go to let's see what we got here. Let's start with this right here. The Huggy Wuggy Nightmare.
I was playing Poppy Playtime when I discovered there was a separate multiplayer mode called Project Playtime. 6 players are on a team trying to build a giant toy, so they can escape while the 7th player plays as a monster trying to kill them. It was pretty fun. And the guy playing the monster was from somewhere in Asia. The guy's username was Kang. I couldn't tell if he was going to be some gaming master or if his ping was going to hold him back, but the game turned out to be pretty intense. Not everyone was able to escape. Everyone but me got killed by Kang, but at the last second, I managed to pull off a win. So I rubbed it in Kang's face, especially because he had been talking a bunch of shit before the game started. I more than succeeded in getting under his skin.
Hey, I'm gonna tell y'all now, it's been a lot of stories about that. Y'all, but that's a real hard story. Y'all better watch how y'all be talking to certain people on them games. Because it's been multiple stories. A lot of them people is very smart, computer tech people, like, they can find you. So watch what you be saying. That especially go for the children. Watch what y'all be saying to them people. Don't
Even more pissed off and started threatening to beat me to death in real life. And that's about when I blocked him. I didn't think for a second that anything was going to come of it. This was far from the first time I'd gotten death threats online, and I always just blocked them. I even find it funny to think about their reaction on the other side when they realize I blocked them. Just keyboard warriors screaming and crying their heads off because they lost in a video game. I like to think there are no keys left on the right side of their keyboard, and their monitor is covered in layers of spit. Then their mom comes in and tells them to shut the hell up and get a job. King was different though. A few minutes later, I got a message from a random Steam account. It was a brand new account with no profile picture or games in their library, and the message was just a string of numbers. After a moment, I realized it was an IP address, though I wasn't sure what mine was. so I couldn't tell if it was actually mine. But then the second I knew it was him, I blocked and reported the new account. Then I went back and reported his original account as well. I was sure he was just trying to scare me, as I knew he lived on the other side of the world. Finding out where I lived was
They
one
got
thing,
planes,
but
boats,
paying
and
hundreds of dollars
trains.
for a plane ticket was ridiculous. A few days went by, and I eventually forgot about it. I got pretty into Poppy Playtime, though I put together my own friends on Steam, so I didn't have to risk getting in a lobby with Kang again. One night, my friends and I played until about 2 in the morning, then I crashed in bed and fell asleep. A while later, after maybe an hour, I woke up because I had to use the bathroom, and when I opened my eyes, I saw the silhouette of a person standing over me. At first, I thought I was just imagining it, but after I came out of my drowsiness,
Don't recognize me? No, I've never seen you in my life. Now get the hell out of my house before I call the cops. Dad! Hey, stay away from me!
Kang smashed the hammer into my head dozens of times, but I only remembered the first few impacts. My I woke up in the hospital a day later, doped up on morphine and still feeling the pounding pain in my head. Somehow, despite tearing through my skin and breaking my skull, Kang didn't manage to do any permanent damage to my brain. The police tracked him down and arrested him a few days later
And that
while
guy
he
was
was
so
trying
crazy,
to board a
he probably
plane
knew
back to
exactly
Asia.
what he was
He's
doing
being
not to
charged
off
for
you.
attempted murder. I've never encountered someone that would actually turn their rage over a video game into real-life violence on another
Have you
person,
not been
especially
looking into the
holding
video?
onto that anger for multiple days while traveling thousands
That
of
has
miles
happened
across
plenty
the
of
planet,
times.
is absolutely disturbing. I've changed my perspective on gamer rage. When I used to find it funny and embarrassing, but now it just makes me think of what happened to me because of it. I suffered a severe concussion, but it could have been 1,000 times worse. This incidences can similarly turn deadly. The incident in the video was inspired by an online gamer from New Jersey who recently
Two
flew to
times.
Florida, broke into the home of a fellow
he
player
worked with
with whom he
finessing
had
them.
feuded with digitally, but never met in person, and tried to beat him to death with a hammer.
That's
According
finesse
to
two times,
authorities,
people.
it was revealed to be
He
a
was playing
20-year-old
with him?
male named Edward Kang.
What?
He became an extreme example case of a phenomenon that academics call internet banging, which involves online arguments, often between young people, that escalates into physical violence. It was alleged that Kang and the victim became familiar with each other, playing an online role-playing game called Archage.
Internet
The
banging.
Korean Kang and the other player became locked in some sort of online altercation. Kang then informed his family that he was headed out of town to meet a friend he had made through gaming. The sheriff said Kang flew from Newark, New Jersey to Jacksonville, Florida, and booked himself into a hotel near his fellow gamer's home early on Friday morning. He had allegedly bought a hammer and a flashlight at a local hardware store, receipts for which deputies later found in Kang's hotel room. By early Sunday, Kang purportedly had put on black clothes, gloves, and a mask, and went into his target's home through an unlocked door. He waited for the victim to get up and take a bathroom break from gaming, and then he battered him with the hammer. The alleged victim managed to wrestle Kang to the ground while screaming for help. The victim's stepfather woke up after hearing the screams, rushed to his stepson's side, helped take Kang's hammer away, and restrained him until deputies were called, and they arrived. Deputies found blood at the home's entrance and in the bedroom of the victim. The sheriff said the victim was brought to a hospital to be treated for severe head wounds, while deputies jailed Kang. Kang told deputies that he carried out the violent home invasion because he believed the target to be a bad person online. Kang also allegedly
He
asked
thought he was saving
investigators
the
how much
day.
prison time was associated with his crimes. Deputies responded with, "It'll be a long time before you play video games."
Agency. I'm usually contracted to work overnight, and my last contract was warehouse, clean out the trash bins, that kind of stuff. However, something immediately stuck out to me on my first night. Prior to showing up, I thought when my employer said this company makes toys for kids, I was thinking of kid-sized toys. But then I saw giant 20-foot-tall monstrosities lying around the warehouse. They weren't staged like they were mascots or anything, and they didn't have any labels telling me what they were called or where they were supposed to go. The first one I saw was this humongous blue-haired Elmo, or if they were really in the way, I could sit them inside a closet. The only real information they gave me was that the thing's name was Huggy Wuggy. The next night, I was sweeping the aisle at the far end of one section where Huggy Wuggy was at. When I got to the end of the aisle, I looked back to see if anyone was there, but there was no one, just that creepy-ass doll. I called in to see if anyone else happened to be working in the warehouse that night, but there wasn't supposed to be a shift. The next night, more unusual activity was happening. I remember hearing this deep, distorted voice echoing across the warehouse. I walked over to where I heard it, and that's when I found someone standing outside the door to the closet that I had stuffed Huggy Wuggy into. I wasn't too sure if it was a person. I was far away, but this guy looked like he was 8 feet tall. I shouted to them, but as soon as I spoke, that thing ran away, to me being paranoid and that everything was normal. I was getting concerned about everything that was happening, but just manned up, as the contract was only for a week. However, the night after was when things took a very dark turn.
I don't make you no man.
As I was cleaning, I kept hearing what sounded like a little girl in the distance. I was freaking out and started searching around the warehouse for the source of the sound, but instead I found another one of those things. It looked just like Huggy Wuggy, but it was pink. I went into a rage and stuffed that thing into another closet and locked the door. I was sick and tired of those weird monstrosities getting in my way with no explanation as to what they were there. I just wanted to get my job done and leave. But these things weren't done with me yet.
Yeah, that's probably what made them mad. They say, y'all throwing me in the closet. They say, sir, this is our house. We're just here cleaning.
I hate that goddamn stupid Huggy Wuggy. Alright, that's it for tonight. Let me go! Stop it! Somebody help me! I saw into that thing's endless stomach, and I was sure I was about to be consumed. Nothing I did seemed to affect it at all. But then I remembered I had a dirty mop in my hands, so I crammed that disgusting thing down its throat. I was able to break free myself and ran for the nearest exit, but I realized I was going to have an early demise when I saw that thing staring at me from a distance with its creepy-ass eyes and smile. That's when I knew I couldn't escape, and that it was about to be all over for me. Video game character. A mother recently told the British outlet Sky News that her relative had attempted to jump out of a window after seeing an older relative play the Huggy Wuggy game. Yes, parents are going through plush animal hell over the Huggy Wuggy character. With a blue and red mouth, the shaggy monster shows off razor-sharp teeth when he smiles in the game Poppy Playtime. Players solve puzzles to find the maniacal mascot, who then pops out of vents and chases them around. Poppy Playtime is set in an abandoned toy factory, which also inspired the story. Since then, such claims have circulated among schools, mom Facebook groups, and police departments all over the world, followed by claims that players are replicating the actions of Huggy Wuggy by hugging others extremely tightly and whispering the gruesome lyrics to each other.
Ew. Sounds freaky.
I have a son who I want to remain anonymous. He had a huge interest in video games growing up, so I indulged him and bought him every new video game console as they came out over the years. Fast forward 30 years, and my son is now 40 years old and still lives at home. He dropped out of college, never managed to hold a job for more than a week, and doesn't have any friends. All he does is stay in his room day in and day out, only day. I don't think he even sleeps. He's just always sitting in that chair, glued to it, staring at his TV screen. He doesn't even shower. The guy gave up hygiene for as long as I can remember. However, the last game I bought him was this freak show called Poppy Playtime. To me, it's just a bunch of creepy dolls. But he's obsessed with the stupid Huggy Wuggy character. I know it's supposed to be a scary game, but it's taken over my son's life. Sometimes, I swear I can even hear him talking to them. Eventually, I came to the realization that my son
I was
had
about to
gotten
say it's time
older,
to send
but he
you
had
to
never
the
grown up.
relative house,
He was
but
the same
you can't
10-year-old
be
boy
dumping
from when I
crazy
bought him his
kids
first
off
game
on the relative
console,
like
and
that.
something about this
Y'all need to
Poppy
stop
game
doing
was
that.
drawing it out of him. This was when my wife and I finally drew the line. We refused to buy him any more games, figuring he would eventually get bored of Poppy Playtime and start begging for a new one. Yeah, for whatever reason, Poppy Playtime had my son in a chokehold. We were forced to take a more direct approach and threatened to kick him out, but he guilt-tripped us about making him homeless. All he had was the game, and that was all he wanted, months off of us. Every time some new chapter of Poppy Playtime came out, he would descend even further into it. It came to a point that we couldn't accept it anymore. My wife told us no answer the first time, so I knocked louder. When I still didn't hear from him, I slowly opened the door. The rotten stench of his bedroom hit me like a tidal wave. I nearly threw up. I pressed on with my hand over my mouth and nose. Then I saw him like always, sitting in his chair with his eyes glued to the screen.
It's time we talked about this. Huggy Wuggy. His name is Huggy Wuggy. Shut up about Huggy Wuggy and listen to me, damn it. Huggy. Huggy. Alright, that's it. Huggy. Huggy. There! No more distractions. So now we can have a conversation, right?
My son finally turned his head to look at me, but it wasn't his face that I saw. He transformed himself into a human version of that Huggy Wuggy thing. His mouth was wide open and smiling, but then the next moment, he was lunging at me. He wrapped his arms around me and started to squeeze as he tried to bite my face. I couldn't believe how strong he was. It took everything I had to keep his teeth out of my eyes. I thought he was going to crush me to death, but then all of a sudden, he collapsed. For just a moment, he collapsed toward the ground and his grip loosened enough for me to slip. Our son was long gone. We knew the only thing we could do to get him out of the house at that point was call the police. But we couldn't imagine our son surviving that encounter, nor the environment. I went to his door to check on him a few days later. I noticed that the foul odor emanating from inside was even stronger than normal. I opened the door and vomited immediately. Then once I could gather myself enough to go inside, I found him rotting, decaying in his chair,
What did y'all
smiling
think?
just
Y'all
like
didn't
before.
see no food in
Autopsy
there,
revealed that he
nothing?
had died from a stroke caused by a blood clot that likely originated from his leg due to him constantly sitting down. Our fight probably dislodged it, and if I had known that, I would have called for help. But I was too afraid of him. Now he's gone from playing too much video games, and I made it happen. It's all my fault. This story was inspired by a horrific incident regarding a male who played video games non-stop for 73 hours and eventually had his organs shut down. The man's name was never identified to the public, but was referred to as DC in an article. He was allegedly a 25-year-old man who was presented to an emergency room and was dead on arrival. Paramedics were desperately performing chest compressions to try and push blood back into his brain and organs to try and keep him alive, but it seemed like their attempts were all in vain. DC was a college graduate, but never wanted to go to school. He worked a minimum wage job, but he was recently fired. He wanted to be an internet video game streamer, but no one was watching. He lived at home with his mom, where she still cooked for him, but she kicked him out when he was no longer going out to look for a new job. Depressed and lost, DC binged on video games at the local internet cafe for days at a time. Sometimes he'd sleep at the computer and wake up to play some more. He gave up personal hygiene, friendships, and was obsessed with gaming and just couldn't stop playing. One weekend, DC played for 73 hours non-stop, glued to his seat. He barely ate any food or drank any water. He didn't even get up to use the bathroom. That's when he collapsed at the front desk of the internet cafe. The owner was oblivious to the fact that someone had fainted on his property.
Okay, we gonna check this Easter one out. Man, we gonna probably call it a night. I was gonna play some games, but it's already looking a bit late. But we'll check this one out.
The night of Easter Sunday, my older brother and I had been roommates there at the halfway mark. It was early in the evening when my brother and I made our way through the park toward our parents. We weren't the only people out there, but it was becoming very empty. I stopped and looked all around, trying to see where the rustling was coming from. Sometimes, we would get to see a raccoon or something crawling out of a bush, but we didn't find anything. And whistling, not a bird or anything. We just ignored it and kept walking, picking up the pace quite a bit to exit the park as soon as possible. We eventually made it to our parents' place a few minutes later, but by then, we were able to joke about how we'd gotten so spooked out by essentially nothing. We soon forgot about it as we had Easter dinner with our family and stayed for a few hours to catch up and hang out with their goodbyes. I talked with my brother about getting an Uber home and avoiding the walk through the pathway since it was late. He told me I was overreacting and convinced me that nothing would happen, and so we left the house and re-entered the park. As we were walking, it was pitch black. There weren't any streetlights around, so we had to use the flashlights from our phones to get something to my brother about how we should have gotten a ride. But just at that moment, we heard something nearby. It was the same rustling sounds we heard before, my spine, and I know my brother felt it too. That's when we both started speed walking down. We walked into the tunnel and hurried to the other side, making it out in half the time it usually took us. Getting out of there never felt so relieving. That is until we heard the whistle again. This time, it sounded like it was right behind us. We looked over our shoulders at the same time and saw it. There stood a man standing at the other side of the tunnel. He was dressed as the Easter Bunny, but he was holding an axe. Something about the sight of him made us stop dead in our tracks. Frozen with fear, we looked at him, then at each other, then back.
Oh, let's get out of here. Ah, damn it, my ankle! Shit, get up, get up! I can't! Shit, he's running towards us! Stay away! Stay away! Help!
I didn't want to leave my brother behind, but I didn't have a choice. I had to get to safety and call for help. When I made it out of the park, I called the police, and then my parents. Minutes later, the police arrived and escorted me back to where we were attacked. By then, it was a nightmare. There was blood everywhere, and my brother's body had been completely destroyed, hacked to pieces and scattered across the pavement. All that, but no sign of the Bunny Man. There have been no arrests since it happened. It was labeled as an urban legend on the internet, but those people act like my brother wasn't murdered. They act like I don't still hear his screams every night, like I didn't listen to his voice getting further away as I ran.
What did y'all want the cops to do? They are looking for the Bunny Man. How are they gonna find that? Oh my God.
For this Easter, it was only fitting that we revisit the infamous Bunny Man Bridge urban legend. For those of you who haven't heard of the Bunny Man, he was a notorious killer that wore a white rabbit suit, and at the stroke of midnight, lore has it that if you speak his name 3 times, he'll appear. Bunny Man, Bunny
I will
Man,
not.
Bunny Man,
Why
but don't
you
expect
say
to
it?
survive. He'll slash your throat and leave your body dangling from the bridge. Another rendition of the Bunny Man was wearing their skins like Leatherface and leaving their remains hanging in the trees. There are plenty of versions of the Bunny Man Bridge legend, all equally eerie, making the 1-lane tunnel of Colchester Road such a popular spot that police stake it out every year, chasing off trespassers searching for a scare. The Bunny Man Bridge was featured in the Fox documentary, Scariest Places on Earth, and has been mentioned countless times across the internet. My wife and I had 3 sons, and they had plenty of cousins, aunts, and uncles to grow up around. Our house was the biggest in the family. It was always a good time, but there was one person in the mix that I didn't want to be in the mix. It was my brother. His name was Robert, and he had always been an outcast in the family. He was a weirdo when we were growing up, and it only got worse as the years went by. He dropped out of school and was never capable of being social with people, so he just went from job to job his whole life, never finding his footing in anything. About 5 years ago, his luck finally ran out. He was broken in debt, with no job, no car, and no place to live. Being the caring brother I am, I didn't hesitate to let him stay with us when he asked for help. The only thing Robert seemed to be good at was scaring my kids with his creepy behavior and leeching off me and my wife.
Nah, if you
For the
scare the
most
kids,
part,
you gotta
all
go.
he did was sleep in his room all
Dang, you a
day,
leech.
watching TV with the door locked and only coming out when he absolutely needed to. I just didn't want my brother to be homeless. But everyone, and I mean everyone, was trying to get me to kick him out. My wife was pissed at both of us. My kids were begging me to get rid of the creepy man sleeping in the room next to them. And even my relatives were baffled by my inaction. The few times that Robert tried to hang out with us, it was unbearably awkward. His interests were all macabre, graphic stuff I didn't want my kids to be exposed to, so I often had to shut down his attempts at convertives. There were close to 20 people attending the celebration for Easter Sunday. Everything was good for a while. We painted eggs, did the traditional egg hunt, and got everyone to sit in the living room and watch a movie together. For hours, there was no sign of Robert. My wife and her sister started getting dinner ready when they heard a loud thump coming from upstairs. It sounded like Robert had stepped out of his room swinging the door open. That's when he came downstairs and asked for a glass of water. As I began to pour Robert a glass, he leaned down to my son and started talking to him in a low voice. My wife snapped at me to go stop him, so I quickly got between them and sent Robert back upstairs as kindly as I could. The guy then gave me a death stare from hell, and then marched 2 hours later. All the food was ready, and we got all the guests to sit at the table. Everyone was talking excitedly about how good the food was.
Guys, I know we all want to eat, so it's time to say grace, okay?
Really? Now?
You wouldn't want to come down. Robert, what are you doing with that? No! No! No!
It was so unreal. I walked among the remains of my family for hours, looking into their paralyzed faces, watching their blood pool together and seep through the floorboards, smelling their final emissions, like the breath of death itself was on my cheek. I knew it was wrong. I knew it was a monstrous thing to do, yet some people go their whole lives without accomplishing anything. I knew half the people I took out were just like that, unimportant, unmemorable, doomed to be forgotten by history. I was going to be one of them too, but I changed that. It's not that I enjoyed it. It wasn't like scratching an itch. It was more like flipping that light switch off and on 3 times just so you can stop thinking about it. I only felt hollow relief, but I couldn't go for another second without it. Still, I wasn't going to be a coward and try to avoid the consequences of my actions.
You've reached emergency services. Please.
Listen to me. I am at 635 Minor Avenue. My family was having their Easter dinner, and I did something bad. Something very, very
Easter
bad.
Sunday?
Sir, what did you do? Sir? Sir? Hello, sir?
I walked outside and waited for the police on the porch. I wanted to get one last breath of free air before they put me away forever. It took the police 10 precious minutes to arrive, and since then, I've never seen the outside world. This story was inspired by a horrific incident that occurred on Easter Sunday. A 41-year-old man named James Rupert took out 11 members of his own family in his mother's house in Ohio. Rupert was found guilty and received 2 life sentences to be served consecutively. He was moved to Franklin Medical Center in Columbus, Ohio in 2019 because of his declining health. James eventually passed away from natural causes on June 4th of 2022 while incarcerated at the Franklin Medical Center. Rupert was 88 at the time. The night before the murders, James went out as he did nearly every night. At a cocktail lounge, he talked with an employee saying he was frustrated with his mother's demands on him and his impending eviction. and that he quote-unquote needed to solve the problem. According to Bishop, Rupert stated that his mother had complained that if he could afford to buy beer 7 nights a week, he could afford to pay the rent. This happened around Easter, which still traumatizes me till this day. I used to do community work at this old church a few years ago. It was more than just a place of worship, it was my home. I grew up in a very religious family where Sunday Mass was non-negotiable. Holidays were all-day affairs, and praying was an everyday thing. I knew everyone in the church, from the nuns to the choirs, the priest Father Michael, and a lot of regulars that came to pray. We were basically a tight-knit community, which I would consider my family to some degree. Then, things began to change. One of the nuns who we'll call Sister Agnes started to look off, like more gaunt and pale than usual.
Sister Agnes?
Yes.
Is everything okay?
Yes. Everything is just fine. No problems at all. What a lovely day it is, right?
Yeah, it is a lovely day.
The week leading up to Easter was a whirlwind. We were all working overtime, getting the church ready for the big day. I was helping clean the restrooms, and Sister Agnes was looking particularly frail. The priest Father Michael was with her, so I didn't worry too much as he was looking after her. That was how it was for the next few days, and before I knew it, it was Easter Sunday. However, it wasn't at all what I expected. What was supposed to be a big celebration became a nightmare. When I made my way to the church for the Mass, I saw nothing but police cars everywhere. The church was cordoned off. No Mass, just the cops and that awful sinking feeling in my stomach. Then, the news broke. Sister Agnes had been taken out. She was allegedly punctured about 30 times, with an inverted cross carved into her chest. At first, I couldn't believe it. It was something out of a horror movie. Far from the peaceful church I heard about how it could have been a cult or something that did this to her. But over time, there were no leads or suspects. It became a cold case, and everyone just went back to living their normal lives. But I was still terrified. I couldn't even walk past the church without getting nervous. So, I started going to a different church just to feel safe. It took me 3 years before I could even think about going back there. But eventually, I did. But it wasn't the same. Something about the whole situation just didn't sit right with me. During one night after Mass, I stayed to catch up with Father Michael. I waited for him to complete his churchly obligations, and when everyone else had left the church, it was just me and Father Michael. We started catching up, recalling the good old days, stuff like that. I know that it should have been comforting for me, but for reasons I couldn't explain, something was off. What happened next caught me off guard. One moment, we were sitting down and socializing, and the next, he suddenly lunged at me, bear hugging me like a wild animal, while cackling as I could, hoping someone could hear me and come to my aid. Shut up! Shut up! Shut the hell up or you're gonna end up like her! I couldn't believe what I was hearing or what was happening. All I could do was fight back like a cornered animal, but I couldn't do much as he was much stronger than me. He pinned me to the ground and held me there. All I could do was kick and scream and try to fight the freak off. I was basically in survival mode. After several minutes, I managed to break free, getting away from him. I ran like my life depended on it. He was chasing after me, pleading for me to stop like a lunatic. I felt like a trapped animal waiting to be slaughtered. I ran for the front door of the church, not knowing the caretaker already had it locked. But before Father Michael could catch up to me, I ran to the side hallway and was able to find an exit. I got the hell out of there and ran until I arrived home. I locked all the doors and windows, sobbing and shaking. I called the police, telling them everything that had happened. When they arrived at the church, they immediately arrested him and brought him to jail. And that's when the horrible truth came out. The news reports and police investigations pushed the authorities to reopen the case of Sister Agnes. It was later found out that Father Michael had been hearing voices in his head, and that they were allegedly too impossible for him to ignore, causing him to act in a rage and take her out in a twisted, ritualistic way. He took a knife and did what he did 30 times. When authorities asked him why he pierced an inverted cross on her, he said he did it because he wanted to make it seem as if there was a satanic ritual that took place, so that there was by a horrific Easter incident that happened on Holy Saturday in Ohio and involved a nun and a priest. In April 1980, Sister Margaret Ann Paul was found in the chapel of Toledo Mercy Hospital. She had been pierced by a sharp object over 30 times, including 9 wounds in the form of an inverted cross, and covered with an altar cloth. The scene was made to look like a satanic ritual that had taken
Not the
place.
old sweet
It took
lady.
2 decades for the slaying to be
He
solved,
shouldn't did it
in
to
which
anybody,
time
but I'm
the case
pretty
went
sure it's
cold
somebody else in
and
the
was only
church.
reopened after a woman accused a priest of ritual intimate torment. That priest/culprit was Father Gerald Robinson, the same priest who had conducted Margaret's funeral service. He was finally arrested in 2006
This man's
and
so
sentenced
twisted.
to life in prison, where he later passed in 2004.
How twisted you gotta be to do that and then conduct the service? Oh my. Despicable. But like I said, y'all, I was gonna play some games, but it's already a bit late. And so I'm gonna see y'all. If you're still watching, if you're watching, go ahead and follow so you can catch the next one. Thank you, thank you. Far too kind, far too kind. And I believe we're out. Let's see. That's enough.